movie's called Don't Think Twice. It is directed and written by Mike Birbiglia, the very talented Mike Birbiglia. And it's a movie about when you get to a certain point in your life, when do you realize that maybe some of the dreams that you have set up for yourself, or the story that you've told yourself about the way your life was going to go, when it goes in a different direction, what does that mean? And how you're going to navigate the rest of your existence? Because that and we're all the characters are kind of in their 30s, their mid 30s, because that's usually when it happens. We kind of get to this place where we start to think, it hasn't happened yet. I've been doing this for 10 years, 15 years. Is there something, there's a couple ways of looking at it. Is there something else I want to do? Was there ever another dream or hobby that excited me or I had passion for? And is it time for me to do that? Or should I keep on going and be stick-to-itive and try to see if this works out for me? But it also is about defining what success means to you. If you're happy and fulfilled, is that enough to have success? Or you'll go, no, I'm not going to be happy and fulfilled unless I achieve X or unless I achieve Y. And in this particular film, this film is set in the world of improv, and I part of my career has been in the improv world. And for us, the Olympics or the major leagues is Saturday Night Live. And this film has a television show that is a Saturday Night Live type of program called Weekend Live. So very different. Which Mike did on purpose with a very heavy wink. And so all the characters at the beginning of the film go, this is what we want, and all of a sudden there's this opportunity for them to get on this show, but it only happens for one of them. And then the interesting thing is, once that trigger gets pulled, the rest of them have to go, okay, so I didn't get it, now what do I do? I'm being told my dream that I've had for this amount of time is not going to come true, now what do I do? Now where do I go? Now where do I focus my energy? And that's the theme. I'm giving you the themes of the movie as opposed to the plot of the movie. But that's kind of the general gist.
So when you do improv, like historically, and in this film, I know a couple of scenes were actually improv. Are you ever self-conscious to get in front of a room full of people, or is it just something that you get like a thick skin and you're just like beyond that?
Yeah, for me. I'm kind of beyond that. It's second nature now. I've been improvising for 20 years. I've been an actor for 28 years. Professional actor. So being in front of people is like breathing, or being like a fish and being in water. The interesting thing is the bigger challenge is that there's a camera running around that gets right in front of your face in the middle of you acting a scene that you're improvising. so there's a Steadicam roaming around because we wanted to have this seventh member of the group on stage with us to give you guys a sense of what it actually feels like to be improvising on stage with other people. So yeah.
Let's say you nailed like something really great, but they wanted to get another angle with or something. Would they
we would re-improvise, which of course now also mostly surprisingly it's a very, very scripted film for a film about improvisation. More than anything, most of the improv shows that you're witnessing in the film are heavily scripted because lots of important plot points are being made in the scenes, so we can't improvise. But then what Mike would do is Mike Birbiglia would have us improvise for like 10 or 15 minutes, then we'd start shooting the scene, and then throughout the movie there's little moments of improv sprinkled into those improv shows.
Talk about coming to that crossroads of deciding, like, are you going to keep going with this, or are you going to veer off into a different career path? Did you ever face that point, and like, what would have you been in an alternate kind of universe?
Well, if I had gone in a different direction and my parents had not encouraged me to do what I wanted to do, I would probably be either a veterinarian or a psychologist. Those are or I'd be in academia. I might have studied theater and then just got into theater as an academic. I would have written papers that no one would have read and then just taught classes. But I'm very fortunate because I've never cared about being poor or having money. Like in my life, I always had just enough money to do what I want, just enough money to have beer and just enough money to have food. And so being in the theater is the perfect job. If you like money, don't go into acting. Yes. Sorry, my friend Tammy Sager and I, who plays Lindsay in the movie, I've known her for 15 years. She's one of my heroes. She's actually one of my improv heroes. And the very first time I ever improvised with her, I think when I knew she was coming to Detroit to visit, and she was going to do the improv set with us, that might have been as exciting as hearing that Key and Peele got picked up. That's how That's because you're at a different time in your life. You're at this time in your life when there's nothing but burgeoning hope. And so you have heroes that are of a different ilk. I mean, we all think, oh, your hero is supposed to be Marlon Brando. Your hero is supposed to be Robert De Niro. And they were my heroes. But when I started improvising, these people became my heroes. And to be able to work with them was amazing. It was just an amazing experience. All the rest of the people I had not known. But we had a rehearsal process prior to shooting for 2.5 weeks. And in that process, we all became friends, truly became friends. We took improv workshops together so that we would become a cohesive group. And I think, to Mike's credit, it worked. It really did. I was, by the way, also a professor. I was a professor. I did teach acting and improvisation. Yeah, I was just saying that I think it applies to everybody. It applies to professors. It applies to undertakers. It applies to middle management. It applies to everyone, because the worst thing in the world, no matter what your job is when you see your dream come true for another person. You can just be a human and have that experience. And I think that is one of the most salient themes and one of the most germane themes in the film. Yeah, you were going. Yeah.
How much did you pull from your own experience?
From which experience?
From your own experience doing improv. How much did bring the characters based off what you knew?
It's very interesting. Michael wrote the script, and then we had a Skype session. That's the first time we ever met. And we were supposed to talk for 15 minutes, and we talked for 2 hours. And then to the point where his wife leaned. Yes. Yes. I haven't had. It's been 3 months, and I haven't had a single Freudian slip yet. His wife leaned over out of another room, and she said, "Who are you talking to? Why are you getting so excited?" And I said to him, you have written a movie about my life, and we've never met. I don't understand what's happening here. But he's had enough experience in that world that it's drawing on almost all of my professional experience. The only difference is that in the movie, Jack gets a sense of the jealousy from his friends and his castmates and them asking for him to help pull them up, and I haven't experienced that as much in my real life. I guess I should say, thank God. Yeah, it's a tough place to be. Yeah, yes, sir.
That was actually kind of what I was going to ask of. Is there been? You actually just answered it. I was seriously going to ask you if you had experienced that in your own life, making it on when he makes it on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
And wanting to present a writing package.
Not at that juncture in my life. Everybody was very lovely to my face. So I've not had that same painful experience that he's had, where just out of the gate, can you get us on the show? I mean, we could be writers on the show. I didn't have to experience that, and it was a fun thing to play in the midst of the tension of the piece. But no, I didn't. Yeah.
Last question.
Last question.
The film deals with a lot of desperation and stuff. I'm wondering what kind of advice you would give to a struggling artist who's in that kind of bubble. They're seeing their friends make it. They feel like maybe this is a crossroads for them. They should give up. How would you talk to somebody that's desperately trying to make it?
It's once again, it goes back to, because I believe this is the meditation and the exercise of the movie is, what does make it mean? What does make it mean? Because if I had gone 2 more years at the university, or at 2 more years at the Second City in Detroit, and they decided that I wanted to teach at the University of Detroit for the rest of my life, and I wrote some papers and I was satisfied with them, then that would have been my life, and I would have been perfectly satisfied. If I'd gone to Chicago and stayed there, what does success mean to you? What is your brass ring? Is raising children who become amazing members of society, is that your brass ring? Great. If being the best manager, and this is not facetious, I'm not making a joke. If being the best manager at McDonald's is your brass ring, you're allowed to let that be your brass ring. Somebody else who says, well, why would you want to do that? That's their story. Let them have their story. I would tell anybody, first of all, get with a group, be with a community. Because we're humans, and we're such social creatures, we need each other. So be with a group, adopt yourself into a group, and have a community. And then really take the time to figure out in your mind, what does it mean to be fulfilled? And then maybe you'll tell yourself a new story that is, because if you know what you want to be fulfilled, in your heart, then you don't have to achieve a certain thing. You know, if you act, you're an actor. You don't have to make money. If you write, you're a writer. If you dance, you're a dancer. I believe that to be true. I really do believe that to be true. So my thing is just pursue the dream, but then be ever curious that there could be other dreams that might fulfill you beyond your wildest imaginations, or imaginings, I should say. So, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. I will
All right,
bring
thank you, guys.